Hello, and welcome to our second episode of the Kids Win podcast. We have been highlighting our Portrait of a Learner throughout our first and our second episode. Last week, we talked about being a resilient learner, and we had a chance to speak to some students up at Northside. Today, we're at Simmons Elementary, and we are talking about being a reflective collaborator and what that means to them, and some things that they have done in their classwork that would lead them to become more of a reflective collaborator. We've also had the chance to talk to Mr. Joe Albert, the principal here at Simmons Elementary, and we're very excited to get his insight as to what his thoughts are on the Portrait of a Learner and being a reflective collaborator as well. We want to know how we feel this is going to help our students in the future and how it builds life skills through our Portrait of a Learner and through what we do in our classrooms. So thank you for joining us. Sit back and enjoy as we talk to some students from here at Simmons and Mr. Albert. Thank you.
The Kids Win Podcast.
I have Hayden and Amelia with me here today, and we're going to talk about the new Woodford County Portrait of a Learner. Now, we know we have 5 different competencies or skills that we want to know that we want to learn that we feel like will make us more successful in the future. Last week, we talked about being a resilient learner. Today, we're talking about being a reflective collaborator. Can anybody tell me what that means? Amelia, do you think so?
It basically means like working together well with other people in a group.
Sure. Exactly. That's what collaboration means, isn't it? Have you done anything like that in your classes so far? Hayden, would you like to explain that?
So we did this paper chain thing where we had like 3 partners, and we had to work together and like get the measures right, and we had to take each other's opinions and like agree.
So then, do you feel like, Amelia, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like being able to work with people and cooperate with people gives you a skill that you'll use later on in life?
Yeah, because it's good to be able to work with other people because they can help you out and you can learn things from them that you didn't know before.
You're so right with that, Amelia. That's a great answer. It really is. So we talk about being reflective. When we reflect, then we think about some of the things that maybe we have done. So you're talking about your chain project. Once you started that, you guys kind of stopped and you started thinking about it, right? Meaning you were reflecting. So you really turned the entire project into a learning process, a deeper learning process, because now you're learning skills that are going to help you later on in life, but you're still addressing the issues in class. So we're having fun, we're being engaged, we're learning, but we're learning life skills too, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about your classes? Another, Amelia, opportunity maybe that you guys had to work with another group or in another setting?
We did this social studies project, and we did a group presentation about a U.S. state, about certain U.S. states, and that's the project that we did.
What state did you do, Amelia? Did your group?
Well, we did several states. The states I did were Utah, South Dakota, and North Dakota.
Okay. So did everybody in the group work together then to complete the project?
Yeah, we did. Each person did like 2 or 3 states, and we made like a slideshow, and then we presented it together.
So another thing that we learned through this whole thing is accountability, isn't it? If we're working as a group, everybody has to be accountable for their piece of the work. Like Amelia can't do it all, or Hayden can't do all the work. Everybody in the group has to participate.
Yeah.
That's another beautiful thing about collaboration. Ladies, thank you very much. It's been a great time talking to you, and I appreciate the insight you shared with us.
Thank you for letting us do this podcast with you.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I have Landon and Jonathan with me today, and again, we're talking about our Portrait of a Learner. Guys, have you had any discussion in class about the new Portrait of a Learner in Woodford County yet?
Not really, but I'm still kind of familiar with it.
So you've seen it around the school. We have posters around the school, much like the one we have here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the competencies or skills that we want everyone to learn in Woodford County is to be a reflective collaborator. Jonathan, can you tell me what collaboration means?
It's with working together and being friendly.
Jonathan, you hit the nail right on the head. It's working together, being able to work with groups and listen to their input and then provide your input too, right? If we're working together, that means everybody's working.
Yeah.
Landon, what about reflecting? If
Well-
we're a reflective collaborator, what are we doing?
We're working together well and contributing all of our ideas to the main project.
So at some point in the project, we have to think about, okay, what do we have to do here? What can you do on this piece? What can you do? So we're really just kind of putting together a plan, and we're thinking about the work, and then we start putting it all together, right?
Yeah.
Landon, can you tell me or give me an idea of something you may have done in class already that would teach you that skill of being a reflective collaborator?
Well, we haven't done many group projects this year, but last year we did a lot, and it requires good teamwork and working well with others.
Okay. Jonathan, what about you? Have you done anything in class yet that would lead you to be a good reflective collaborator?
Not much, but we did a lot last year. We did something building our own bridge and putting marbles. It was really fun, and we got other ideas from our friends, and that's pretty much how working together is, by telling others the ideas and who's to choose.
Sure, absolutely. So when we work together, then that helps us to respect the opinion of other folks. Am I correct?
Yes,
And it makes us better listeners.
it really does.
So the whole time that we're working through this, then we are learning skills that will help us be more successful in school, and then once we graduated from school as well, right? Throughout life. That's why we call them life skills, right?
Yep.
Very.
Well, guys, thank you all very much for being with us today.
Eh.
You've done a great job, and we're very proud of the work, and we know that you're going to do well being a reflective collaborator this year.
Well,
Thank you for having
letting
us.
Thank you. I'm here with Mr. Joe Albert today at Simmons Elementary, and he's the head principal over here and doing just an excellent job. And I think the community really has embraced Mr. Albert, and he has embraced them as well. Just a great job of what you're doing.
Appreciate
here,
it.
Mr. Albert. We appreciate the energy you bring. Just been a home run hire, I'll have to say.
Thank you.
But as we look at what we're doing here in Woodford County now, as a whole, we have kind of built this portrait of a learner. We've taken a year to do that. We've had some folks from your team that were on the team to help us do that. But give us a little insight as to your thoughts on what our portrait of a learner will do for the students here in Woodford County.
So, you know my background, and I have a little bit of a unique perspective because I was at the middle school prior to coming to Simmons. And so kind of seeing the trajectory, and I know where these kids are going, so it's been really unique for me to know what we want our kids to be able to do, and then I know where they're going, and so I'm getting the opportunity to plant that seed now, kind of teach them, grow them, show them, and then they're going to be able to carry that on into the middle school and high school when they do come back with the other elementaries. And so it's cool for me to see just the progression or what's going to be the progression.
Sure. So what we've done at designing this portrait of a learner is we've identified 5 life skills or competencies that we want to see our students master throughout their educational career. And it's not just to help them educationally. It will help them to be more successful in life as well. So last week we had a chance to talk about resilient learner. Today here at Simmons we've had a chance to talk about reflective collaborator. Just another little more insight as to what your staff is doing to help teach that skill or that competency.
Sure, and what I love about my building is my staff are reflective collaborators, so they already have that life skill that they've taught in their education, so they're really able to grow that in our students. We are a very diverse population here, as you know, and so it's great for us, from all the different backgrounds our kids are coming from, to give them that we need to be reflective together. We might be different, but let's get together, let's collaborate, but let's bring together what makes us us in order to be successful.
Sure. So we know that our students, obviously, we're teaching resiliency and resilient learning and collaboration now and teamwork through reflective collaboration. So, or being a reflective collaborator. We know, and it's easy to identify areas outside of school. With what we're doing with our Portrait of a Learner here, do you have any insight, Mr. Albert, as to what Simmons as a whole, how there may be a plan or a big project in the works, things that you guys may be putting together right now that will help us to teach our competencies and broaden our students' horizons with this Portrait of a Learner?
Yeah, and as you know, there's so many things to be doing during the day, and so finding that dedicated time can be difficult. So what Mr. Wilson, my admin dean, and I determined during our walkthroughs this year, when we're going into the classrooms, we purchased little bulldog stickers. Mm-hmm. And so when we go in and are doing these walkthroughs, we're observing and we're looking for these competencies within the classroom. And then before we leave, we're identifying one and we're sticking up a sticker on that competency. What that does is two things. It allows our students to see what they were doing or that we observed them doing while we were in the classroom at that time. It also gives that teacher a talking piece. Mm-hmm. So when we leave or when they have an opportunity, maybe after the lesson that we observed, they're able to say, hey, Mr. Albert put Resilient Learner sticker up on ours. Why do you think he did that? What were we demonstrating or what do you think he saw? And then I guess it's three things then. Also, teachers are able to see if they're getting the same sticker every time. They maybe need to look at some of those other competencies to make sure that they're utilizing them, they're addressing them with their students throughout the course of the day.
Sure, that makes them more aware, students aware of what's going on with the Portrait of a Learner, and staff as well as, this may be the same one.
And it's an outside perspective. So sometimes teachers get caught up in what they're doing and they think they might be meeting these, but I'm coming in with fresh eyes and I'm able to say, this was really great this time. Let's maybe focus on this other competency or dedicate some time to that one. So it just gives a good talking piece and it gives them a good opportunity to have those conversations with their students.
Sure. And, almost every interaction within the school building gives you an opportunity to change a student's life, but
Absolutely.
Not just through education, again, but through these competency and life skills. As we look at, students may not even realize it, but they're on the playground. And if they're playing kickball outside, there's some collaboration going on there.
Absolutely.
You may not know the rules, so now you're learning, being a resilient learner.
Exactly.
So those are things that we do that students may not understand, and we're kind of pulling things. That's the home run of deeper learning.
Absolutely.
Is that we are teaching things without students knowing it. They know they're having fun.
And what we love about it too is there's a lot of crossover between the competencies as well. Like they're very interconnected. So they're not taught in isolation or just taught in a vacuum. They're actually reflective collaborator, you could be also working on empathetic communicate. Like there's a lot of opportunity for them to develop the competencies together, not just individually.
Sure. And we know, I feel like you're again, I've just told everybody what a successful principal you
Thank
are,
you.
but many of these skills lead to that success.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Albert, thank you very much, and thank you for the job you do at Simmons.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited to see where we take this year.
Excited. Thank you.
Yep.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Kids Win Podcast. We're very excited to be able to bring these to you, and we're going to try to increase the frequency. We kind of dabbled a little bit last year. This year, we're trying to do it at least every 2 weeks, where we're going to focus on our Portrait of a Learner and what our students are doing in class. So again, thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it. Join us back here in 2 weeks, and we'll do it again. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Kids Win Podcast, provided by Woodford County Public Schools. Join us next time as we showcase the talents of our amazing students here in Woodford County Public Schools, where kids win.